Welcome to the OKPreps Extra Show. I'm Patrick Prince, joined as always by Barry Lewis. It's Wednesday, August 13th, and Barry, the season we're about what, 2 weeks and a day from Owasso Bixby on a Thursday night. It cannot get here fast enough. But let's start with coaches. We got four of our Big Five schools have new coaches. Um, some big name coaches who we know. Which of those four, and you'll tell us what the four are, but which of those four are you kind of most looking at and why?
I'd say it's at Broken Arrow with Travis Hill, because if you look at those four new coaches, it's really amazing. It really puts a different vibe into the start of fall practice that began on Monday. That four of the five Big Five schools have new head coaches, haven't really had this before, and that at Union, you've got Antonio Graham moving over from Owasso. At Owasso, you've got Bill Blankenship returning from a one-year hiatus. And at Jenks, you've got defensive coordinator Adam Gaylor being promoted to head coach. But at Broken Arrow, you've got Travis Hill moving over from Muskogee after having a great turnaround there. And these other programs that we mentioned, they've all been winning over the last, well, forever, pretty much to various degrees of postseason success, but they've all had winning programs. At Broken Arrow, uh, they're coming off three losing seasons, and for a program that as recently as 2018 had a perfect season, won a state championship, to have had three consecutive losing seasons, that's really rough there. They expect so much more in Broken Arrow. After all, they are the state's largest school, so expectations are high. Travis Hill has won everywhere he's gone. Can he pull off a turnaround at Broken Arrow? I think that's what everyone is most interested in going into this season, as far as the teams with the new coaches.
I think Muskogee. I think Broken Arrow got the right guy. I think Travis Hill, as you pointed out, has been successful everywhere, and he's going to be successful at Broken Arrow. It's going to be real interesting to see what they do, not only this year but going forward. What do you think about Adam Gaylor wanting to be, well, not wanting to be, but announcing he's going to be his own defensive coordinator? Good move, bad move?
I think it was the logical move. Whenever you lose, everything had been set for Chakez Washington to be the new defensive coordinator. When Adam Gaylor was promoted to head coach, Washington moved over from Owasso to become Jenks's defensive coordinator. But at the end of spring practice, he got an offer he couldn't refuse as Midwest City's head coach and athletic director. So understandably, he moved on there to Midwest City. And so if you're Adam Gaylor at that late stage, I mean, the easiest move, the most logical move would just be to run the defense yourself this season. So, as he says, the defense will look a lot similar to what it's been the last 6 years since since he began as defensive coordinator there. And so I think that was the logical move.
They say that you never want to be the coach who follows a legend, but Keith Riggs did a very fine job replacing Alan Trimble, who was a legend and did all that he accomplished at Jinx. What do you expect out of Adam Gaylor as a head coach? Again, time will tell, but what do you think?
I think there's a good chance for more of the same. And as far as overall success, and that would be a good thing for Jenks, because with Coach Riggs, Jenks reached the state championship game 5 of his 7 years as head coach there, winning two state titles. I mean, that's really, really good. And the other 2 years, they reached the semifinals. So it was quite an outstanding 7 year run for Coach Riggs, after succeeding Alan Trimble as head coach. And I expect, I mean, 6A1 is more competitive than ever now, but I expect similar results under Adam Gaylor.
Let's stay with Jinx for just a minute. They've got a three-way quarterback battle. Uh, Maybe conventional wisdom says Landon Kazar. Did I say that right? Kazar?
Yes.
Okay, maybe it kind of is the lead horse a little bit. He's the junior. He was the backup last year. You saw those guys in person recently. What do you think?
I think all three, I've seen them three practices. I mean, obviously it's not like being there every day, but I've seen them three times since May. And I think what I've just my gut feeling is that you'll probably see a mix and match situation, maybe as similar to what Bixby has done. After all, Bixby's had a lot of success doing that.
Mm.
And I think you'll just depending on the situation when you because as I said, when I've seen them, they've all looked the part. They all look like they can do the job. But if you've got one quarterback who's really good in running situations, you probably go to him in that quarterback in those situations. However, if you got one guy who's a better passer, you go to that person, perhaps overall to start the game. And I just think there would be a lot of mixing and matching at Jenks with the quarterback situation, similar to what we've often seen with Bixby over the last few years, and it's worked very well at Bixby.
As you've done your August reporting and we've kind of ramped up our high school football coverage, any other players kind of stand out to you? Someone you've kind of noticed?
Well, someone that Coach Gaylor was talking about, and someone I've noticed um, on Monday when I was out there, Clark Carricker, Jenks Jr. safety and running back. Look, he could have a breakout year. Uh, Coach Gaylor is very high on him. He says he's had a really good offseason, gained a lot of confidence from his success in baseball. And Clark Carricker last year saw a decent amount of time at safety and fared well. Got a few touches at running back, and of course at Jenks, um, no, it's other than KD Jones, probably the action is going to be limited for the other running backs. But although KD, now that he's going to be playing safety, he may need to get a little more rest on offense. So Clark Carricker, I think can be an impact player, perhaps on both sides of the ball for Jenks. Someone would be like a breakout player this year.
Let's transition to TPS. Our colleague Bill Haston has a column coming up for this Sunday on Booker T. Washington. Barry, what do you think? What do you think about the Hornets this season? What are they looking like?
They're very excited with after having the success they did last year, going 9-3, a major turnaround. Something that Broken Arrow would love to, if you could tell Broken Arrow that they would be 9-3 this year after what they've gone through the last few years, they would definitely take it. And so Booker T was sort of in that same situation a year ago with the new head coach. And now they've got another new head coach, Nate Goodman. So it'll be interesting to see how he builds on what Dan Bitson started last year. And it looks like all signs are looking good. The numbers in the program are really impressive. There was a lot of fear because of the turbulent off season of Booker T with the off the field stuff that they might lose a lot of players, especially to the suburban schools. But they lost a few, and they lost Joseph Graves, their great defensive lineman, to IMG in Florida, but they didn't really have major losses. So expectations are really high at Booker T that this could be a special season there. And you can read more about it in Sunday's Tulsa World as Bill Haston will be writing about it.
Barry, do you know, other than what you just said, do you know a ton about them? Like, if I was going to go watch a Booker T game, who would I be looking at? Who were some of the signature guys that would be worth good? Because Booker T always has, high profile guys just worth, regardless of how good the team is, just guys worth watching. Who are some of those guys for them this year?
Dwayne Jones, who combined with Joseph Graves for to be just totally dominant on the D line last year. Well, Dwayne Jones is still there. He transferred after his freshman year from Owasso. He's a big time player. So if there's one player to focus on at Booker T, and they're a very talented team, he's not the only talented player there, obviously, but he would be the one to focus on, especially on defense. And on offense, I think a key is going to be Levi Brooks, their quarterback. see how much he progresses. I think he's got all the tools. And I think if he has a really good year, I think Booker T can have a really good year. And speaking of Levi Brooks, he is one of the individuals, players that Parker Jarrell uh, wrote about, talked to for his fascinating story, 7-on-7 story that will also appear in Sunday's Tulsa World. 7-on-7 is something that we haven't really reported much on previously, but it's a growing thing in high school football, especially in the off seasons, to help players prepare and get better. And Parker will give you an inside look and tell you all about 7-on-7 football and its advantages and how coaches and players feel about it. And I encourage you to look for that in Sunday's Tulsa World.
Yeah, it's a good story. I think people are gonna enjoy it. You know what Parker found out in his reporting is that there's some divide there. Some coaches see the value in it and like it, and some coaches are not a fan. So yeah, it'll be a good story worth your time. We got some other things coming up too, Barry, that we want to remind the folks of. Why don't you tell them about Photo Day?
Our annual Fall Photo Day is for fall sports. It will be on Wednesday, August 20th from 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Tulsa Memorial High School's Veterans Arena. And for those who've not been there, it's located at 58th and Hudson. And its memorial is located adjacent to LaFortune Stadium. It's a drop-in event, and we encourage all the fall sports teams, football, volleyball, and softball, and cross country to bring their top 5, 6, 8 athletes to the event. And it's a really fun event, and it's really helpful for us at the Tulsa World, but also helpful to those who participate because it's a really important event for us to gather photos and to gather information that helps us in our coverage of fall sports. It's really very helpful. We can't emphasize that enough. And it also seems to be for all those who've attended through the years, it seems like to be a really fun event for them too. And it's fun for us to get to meet a lot of the area athletes. And for those who aren't familiar with the event, as far as what to wear, because that's a frequently asked question, wear your uniforms or wear warm-ups. That seems to be popular. But just come. If you don't have access to your uniforms or warm-ups, just come as you are. So the important thing is to be there, and we look forward to seeing you at Memorial High School for Photo Day from 3:30. It starts at 3:30 and runs to 6:30 p.m. next Wednesday, August 20th at Tulsa Memorial High School's Veterans Arena.
And then
It's a really important thing is event for our fall sports coverage that lays the foundation. And also want to remind everybody about our high school and college football preview section that will be published on Sunday, August 24th. So it's a really must read for those looking ahead, for football fans looking ahead to the college and high school season. So that will be Sunday, August 24th. Look for it in the Tulsa World College and High School football previews.
always great stuff in there. Look forward to reading that every year. Which also in that section, we will unveil the all-world voting results. We've been asking folks to vote on the best players in the Tulsa area. 70 candidates, Barry, right? 10,
Yes,
10
there's
players
70
at seven
candidates.
positions. We've been asking you to vote for several weeks. We're going to write about the winners. Yes, Barry?
Yes, we'll have capsules on the winners. And there were some really interesting voting results. So you can see who won in that August 24th special preview section.
All right, we'll call that a show for this week. Appreciate you tuning in. Barry and I'll be back next week.